come here. I have some news for you. And I know last time I did a video, I said that my show date was going to be, I think, June 5th. But it looks like we're going to push that back about 2 weeks and shoot for a show mid-June. So it's been an interesting prep this time around. My body is doing some interesting things. It's not really changing too much in weight, but it's changing in the body composition. And if you guys don't know what body composition means, it basically means how much body fat percentage you have on you in comparison to muscle mass. This is when you see someone that weighs, let's say, 135 pounds, and then another person that weighs that same weight, but they look completely different. The big thing that's going on there is their body fat.
She's going crazy.
It's totally different. Hope doesn't care about body fat. She's like the fattest dog I know. But anyway, like I've weighed the same weight for the past 4 weeks, which almost sounds like you're not making progress. But we're going to show you guys, like, over these last few weeks, I am getting leaner. I've had people like comment on different things like, wow, like you're really like looking lean, or like your show day must be soon, which is great to get that positive feedback, because to be honest, like even I'm having my days of like, is anything really changing? Because like I'm working my butt off. Like we've made adjustments, I think 2 times now to my macros, where carbs have been cut, fats have been cut a bit, cardio has gone up, and then your weight's not moving. It's like, what am I doing? Like I don't feel like I'm seeing any progress, but it's happening. I always try to take my progress pictures like 2 times a week so I can see these changes for myself, because if I don't do that, I am going to get too hyper focused on the scale. And going back to like having a coach, like my coach Adam has kept me really level-headed. He's like, just because the scale isn't changing doesn't mean your pictures aren't changing. You're not in a plateau. Like a plateau is when nothing's changing. Like we're not seeing changes in measurements, pictures, or weight. If that's happening, like then that's a red flag. But for us, like we are seeing the pictures change. Clothing is fitting looser, things like that. So I know that we're moving in the right direction, but it's definitely been pretty intimidating. Okay, so I'm about to do some posing practice. I want to go over heel selection for you ladies out there. This works for like wellness competitors, bikini competitors, figure, anyone that has to wear heels. They're gonna look something like this. Don't mind Hope. Hope is just the star of the show today. These heels are just like made out of plastic. People call these stripper heels, which I mean, I guess, but I don't know. When you get new heels, you'll want to wear socks with them like I'm wearing right now. Like people ask me that question, I can't tell you how many times. What this does is it helps prevent like blisters. It allows for that plastic to stretch out, because like this flimsy plastic against your foot is going to like mess your feet up. My first show, I never really broken my heels, and halfway through that day my feet had all these cuts like by my toes, which made it really painful competing at finals. I do the kind with the strap in the back because it gives me more stability. You could get it without the strap. It's up to you. I think if you're more advanced, go for it. What's nice about that is you could just like put your foot in right away and like start posing. These, like, it's a whole thing to get them on, like bending over, like squeezing that plastic thing past your heel. I just feel a lot more secure. And mine also don't have gems on them. They're very plain. I think this is 4 inches. And I also don't get a super big platform, because you don't want extra high platforms, extra long heels. Like you're not going to impress the judges for that. You're not going to impress them if your heels are all gemmed out. Like that is just more money that you're spending. My first set of competition heels were from Amazon for $35, and that lasted me like at least 12 shows. So you don't have to get the super expensive ones. These are from the Shoe Fairy for I think $50, but they have some that are like lower end, which literally $50 is like the lower end, and then some that are like $100 if you get the crystals. But you don't need the crystals. Do you need crystals on your suit? Yes, I highly encourage that. That's way more important than your heels. And if you're going to splurge on anything that you're wearing that day, it should be your suit. But let's get to posing. So right now we are 6 weeks out. First show is just like a regional show, which means it's not a pro card winner. It's just a national qualifier. So what I'm going to bring is a little bit of a softer look. When I come in too lean for regional shows, I find that I don't do as well. And the sport is subjective. You're going to get different feedback at every single show. Here in Florida, I just feel like they like that fuller, a little bit of a softer look on stage. But at a national level, I feel like they like that leaner look. So we're going to come in a little bit softer for the show and then getting leaner into our national shows. Because this is 6 weeks out from my first competition, we still got a long summer ahead of us.
I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
So this is before.
Okay.
And then I had a posing coach. This is after.
Like you're more upright, I can tell.
I'm lifting up. My lower back hurts. No, my chest is up, my shoulders are up. We're trying to show off like my upper body, building like the most amount of width there. And I think a lot of girls, including myself, like I felt like in the front pose I should show my glutes. So I would like slouch down and then be here, but then my upper body looks small compared to coming up here.
I agree. It's more of a balanced look.
Yeah, and like my old transition, I would turn around, break my ankle, like that, and now I'm doing that setback. So now I'm going here, here.
Way smoother.
Yeah, and it's just like more modern, like the sport's changing like all the time. I feel like the step around one's easier to learn, but I don't know, less people are doing it now. It just changes all the time.
What's some common posing mistakes bikini competitors do?
So I'm going to show some walking because I think a lot of competitors aren't too good with that. They will walk straight on like this, which is okay, but you lose a lot of your curves when you're dieting. So instead of walking like straight on, you want to try to cross your legs. So when I walk, I cross like this, which allows for my hips to turn, which just looks more like feminine compared to walking straight on like this. It also just like, I feel like that looks nervous compared to the crisscross one.
It does, yeah.
The other one is just like fist. And it's hard to not do this, but like if you're in your front pose, you've got like a fist here, or you look really tense, instead of like letting your hands relax down. Covering your glute with your arm is a big one. Or if you do like
That's a bad thing, right?
Yeah, because you're covering your physique. Like,
so you can't be too relaxed where you're...
you want to pull away from your glute. Unless for some reason your glutes were like super developed, which is very rare.
And you want to hide it.
Yeah, if you're trying to hide something, do that. Posing is an illusion. So like I've met girls where their shoulders are too big, so they get really long hair and they cover their shoulders with their hair. Or their rear delts are super developed, so they make sure when they turn to the back that they flip their hair to cover everything because they don't want to lose points for over muscularity.
That's good to know, because I know I've watched a lot of shows, and some girls would pull their hair forward to show the back, and some girls would flip it out and cover it all.
And you don't want to pull your hair to the side, because like bikini, they're not judging your back, but they are judging the width of like your shoulders and your rear delts and looking for fullness there. but they're not judging like your mid-back or like how wide your lats are. They're not looking at any of that. I find, like for myself, I'm going to get hair extensions. I just personally think longer hair looks better on stage because when you put that hair in the back, it comes nice and down to the middle of the back, which almost makes you look slimmer versus someone that has short hair. Like there's not much I can do with this. Like even if I did a hair flip, it would look kind of silly because it's so short. But if you have long hair, like that can add nice drama where like you're slowly pushing it off your shoulder, kicking it back. So if you can't, you know, get extensions like installed in your hair, like just do the clip-ins. Like I've done those before and it completely changes your look. And if your hair is too long, like you don't want your hair extensions to be like here at the beginning of your butt because then you're going to lose your waist. They're not going to be able to see your waist in the back if your hair is like really thick too. And also you lose some size in your glutes. So it just takes away from your shape. So with a suit, usually or like at the beach, you'll wear your bikini like here below your hip bone. My hip bone's like right here. When I am posing or I'm on stage, I wear mine above my hip bone, which is like super high. I mean, it's more popular now with like high bikinis, but you really want it above the hip bone because if you have something cutting you off right here, you just lost a nice few inches to your butt and your legs. It just makes the whole illusion of your lower body look different. So wear that thing really high. They've got the like butt glue or whatever to like glue it in so you're not like having a wedgie.
I've seen those.
Yeah,
Those are...
you get that like glue in, even like your tops, like your boobs can fall out, so like you get those glued in too and like you're good to go.
Is it a smart thing if, let's say you get feedback from one judge and he wanted you to get bigger shoulders?
Yeah.
So you already know what he prefers, he or she prefers. So would it be a smart like idea to tackle that same show or a show that judge is judging again the next time? That
would be the most strategic thing to do. Like the head judge for national competitions is Sandy. She's like this cute little blonde lady. If you get feedback from her, she's going to be the head judge at all those shows. So like apply those changes that she wants from you. You know, I could get feedback from her and then compete somewhere down here and a male head judge would be like, that's not what I necessarily felt like you needed. So everyone can be on a little bit of a different wavelength. I would say with bikini, if you're wanting to turn pro, get your feedback from Sandy because she's going to be, you know, the head judge. She's the person that's in charge of the whole division. So her feedback matters most. I
think for a different episode, you could talk about picking the right shows, like not just like internally, like mentally if you're ready, financially, but also with like the sport itself. Like what's a good show? Why would you want to do this? Because I feel like you have knowledge for that. Yeah, I mean, there are shows like in Ohio that I would choose not to do because like of how I felt like the judging would go or even like how they would treat their athletes or rumored to treat them. Yeah, so like, that's important. If you guys want to see that, like comment down below. I think that could be helpful. I mean, here in Florida, we have so many options. Some states, like if you're in like Montana, like you probably don't have any choices unless you're going to travel. But it is important to ask other competitors like what their experience is, and if it was bad, like, you know, that could be a red flag. Hey guys, so this is my fiance, Jake Block. I'm gonna put the applause.
So I don't think I've had you on the YouTube yet, and I've had my YouTube channel for a long time. I'm older now, I'm 26, so now we're getting married October 29th. We got engaged end of 2020, like around Christmas.
Forgot the date.
And we brought him on to ask questions about like relationships, like handling your fiance or like managing and living with someone who's like in competition prep or like bodybuilding. And like I want to talk about both sides, like how I can be supportive of him, how he can be supportive of me, because I've said this previously, prep is really selfish. So if you just make it all about you, like it's not going to make your relationship healthy. and we have a lot going on. Like, we're working a lot. We have a house that's being built that we'll move into over the summer, our wedding that we're planning. So there's a lot going on.
So pretty much what I want to ask, like with everything going on, you know, you guys are building a house, about to move out. You know, she's on prep. The wedding is coming up, which you guys are planning. Like with all these things happening, like how has her prep affected you, and how has him not being on prep with you, like, you know, how does that make you feel, like if anything's happened? We'll start with Jake.
Yeah, the nice thing was when we started our relationship, she was already in her competition season, so that's what I got used to right away.
In the honeymoon phase.
Yeah. So she was already in prep. Honestly, she's not really bad when she's on prep. She's not super moody or anything like that, but she's definitely not bad at all. And maybe that's a little bit that when we started our relationship, she was already in prep. But the interesting thing is, like, I hear couples all the time on their fitness journey who just, they struggle with, how do I eat differently than my significant other? And I mean, we can damn near count on 2 hands how many times we've eaten the exact same meal at the exact same time. As we eat completely different schedules, eat completely different foods, and that's just what we're used to. So it's been relatively easy, what I feel like, for most.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that will get like divorces while they like prep. Like, it's pretty rough on a lot of relationships, and I feel like on my side, like, I've even had my mom say, like, you should, like, you know, cook more and, like, have him come home to a meal and stuff. But I'm just like, you know, like, we both already kind of have an idea of what we're eating for the week. So if I did that, like, it would even throw him off. Like, Jake tracks his macros, I track my macros. We have completely 2 different goals. Like, you're trying to add size, right?
Yep.
Add size, just feel healthier, feel energized, because he deals with, like, a lot of fatigue. And then I'm obviously just trying to get shredded for competition. So totally different. And I don't know, I think my patience can get a little bit short, and I try to be aware of that. But I'm also, like, a human. Like, at the end of, like, a more stressful work day, like, I love my job, I love what I do, but being a business owner can be really stressful and overwhelming sometimes. So, like, days like that, I do find I'm, like, a little bit more short, but I try to, like, take a deep breath, or even just tell him, like, I'm having, like, a really bad day today, and then he could be, like, more aware of it.
Yeah.
That's probably one of our toughest things in our relationship, is just that I work long hours, she works long hours, and they're different schedules too. So once I come home, if she still has to go work out, she has to go work out, whereas I can kind of change my plans around a little bit.
Yeah, like, don't guilt trip your partner, like, if they have those goals. Like, that would make me feel horrible if, like, I wanted to go out for a walk to, like, get my steps in, and he's just like, no, don't do that, like, you're being selfish or whatever. You would never say that, but I know that there are couples where, like, the other person will say that, or, like, make them feel bad for needing to go work out. And that's the difference in like a bodybuilding prep. It's not just a I want to work out, it's like you need to work out. It's not a optional thing, unless you just are doing it for fun and not taking it super seriously. So I am happy that you're, like, flexible with that. There are times where I have to wake up in the morning and do, like, a longer cardio session, and you can, like, hang out around the house. Like, you're not, like, we're pretty independent. We're not super, like, clingy.
It seems like you guys aren't, like you're a type of couple that is not entirely dependent on the other. So
yeah,
at least from what you guys are saying, that's, you know, and that's pretty much, like, from what I'm getting, is, like, the key to why you guys are doing so well together through this.
Well, even just, like, with getting married, like, we're different people. We have different goals. Like, of course, like, we're coming together as, like, one, but, like, we're still individuals. So, like, it's important for you, like, if you're getting married, to still look at yourself as an individual. Like, you're a separate person from that one, but, like, you guys should come together. And, like, there's a huge truck right now. You're on each. There's so many people that move in and out of here, like, nonstop. But what I was getting down to is, like, we're teammates. Like, we support each other. It's not a me versus him, him versus me kind of situation. I've been in relationships like that, and they just are not successful.
Yeah, and we honestly don't have a lot of time together. For many times we recognize that, we realize that's going to be part of it, and when the time comes that we're both free, that's when we go out on date nights and do things and stuff like that. And so, when those times become available, and if it's been a month or two, then we try to set time aside. But when we go several weeks sometimes without really getting good couple time in, but we know that's going to be part of it. So even when she was off prep and went back into more bulking, is we still pretty well ate separate meals and kind of kept that kind of same thing going. So it was pretty easy once she went back into prep, and I can't really say that I prefer one over the other, because we didn't really change once she went back into her bulk too much.
Just really less going out to eat. That's about it. Like, I don't really go out to eat at all in prep, so that's, for me, that's hard because I really enjoy going out to eat. I don't know, that's like a date night kind of thing. So we don't do that, but we'll still make food maybe once a week together, grill it. And that's about it.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that changes is we just don't go out to eat weekly or every other week.
He just saves a lot of money.
I save a lot of money. She spends a lot of money on prep.
With the new house, her prep, wedding, how did her prep affect that, in stress wise? Does that make everything harder?
Definitely when I come home after work, I kind of want to just chill, and I can be a little lax on the wedding planning. So I think that there's times where she's a little bit shorter with me, but it's due to my own fault of not. I think I've added 4 people to the guest list in the past 2 months, so that's on me. But
her face.
She's like a disappointment or something.
So I could do better on stuff like that. But she is, especially with building the house and wedding planning, she is phenomenal at finding things. I'm a lot better with more of the negotiations with businesses and stuff like that. So we make a good pair.
I don't like competition at all. I like finding the person, with wedding planning, you find vendors and you confirm them. So I find them, he basically looks at the price, and even today, we were talking about cupcakes, and one place has them for $2.50 each, the other place has it for $3. He kind of breaks down the numbers kind of thing, and I don't know, I have never planned a wedding, but so far I feel like I'm doing a good job. And that's the other thing is nobody prepares you for this stuff. Nobody prepares you to buy a house or to plan a wedding. You just see it in movies or see other people doing it, but there's a lot of complex things behind it, and it would stress anyone out. So if I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed, I have to remind myself that this kind of stuff is hard for the normal person. So if I'm getting really overwhelmed, I don't feel bad about it. I just realize I'm not being productive, so I need to take a break.
I think the biggest thing is we're both very high stress tolerant people, so that helps with it. But also we know when we kind of need to step away from a conversation and kind of cool down a little bit before we have that conversation. If there's anything conflicting with building the house or planning for the wedding, if something's irritating us, we kind of let the emotions get out before we talk to each other about it.
Yeah, that's really good. Last question I have though, with everything going on, the house, obviously the wedding was a little different, but why did you decide to start prep now? Is it because of you wanted to challenge yourself, or because you've always planned it? I don't know.
I mean, I planned to compete in 2021. I never planned to compete in 2020, so that worked out because that year was a nightmare.
Because I know most people would wait till all of this is done before they would want to prep.
I figured I can handle it all. I've been through preps where I was in college, or I moved from Ohio to Florida and I've been in prep. I feel like I've seen it all while prepping, and it's something that comes with someone that's more of a veteran. This isn't my third show. This isn't my first show. If this was my first ever competition prep, I would never ever suggest this. But I've done it over and over and over again, and now I feel like I have a really good system it works for me. And even as a business owner, if I had just gone full time in my business, this would not be a time to prep because I don't have my routine. I don't have that structure in place. And if you don't have structure, you're not going to thrive. Now I don't want to say it's easy, but yes, we have a lot going on. But I also knew that going into our wedding, like I would already want to look a little bit leaner, and it didn't make sense for me to just do like some sort of a mini cut. I figured, like, why not just prep and do well? And that's even more of an incentive for me to like be on my shit when I reverse diet, because I have my wedding. And I don't know, I think life's too short to always put things on pause. It's not like I knew I was going to get engaged.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was saying. Like, you couldn't really plan for the wedding, like, to prep, but yeah.
The timing's never going to be perfect either. So with her going back into prep, and then the housing market the way it is, I mean, we're both financially oriented people. So with the housing market the way it is, you know, we wanted to take advantage of that.
That was like a diamond too, because like with the pandemic, like we bought this house, what was it, November?
Committed December 4th.
So right before everything was getting really crazy, like if we were to buy our same house now, like we would be spending a lot more money.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because who would have planned that? And yeah, I feel like with the house, I was like, let's do it. And Jake was like, I don't know. And I was like, I have a gut feeling, let's do it. And like, if we didn't do it, I feel like we would regret that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, it worked out, so that's good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to mention between, you know, life as it is right now and how prep is affecting it?
Just like, you need a support system. Like, as a competitor, you need a coach. Like, I don't know, people prep themselves, like, you blow my mind. I'm a coach and I don't want to prep myself. And you need a support system. Like, I have girlfriends I can lean on. I have my fiance I can lean on. Like, if it's just you, like, I get it that it's just you on stage, but it's like an army that gets you there. So you gotta really just take care of these relationships still.
Yeah, I think it's important that she has friends who she can lean on, whether there's stuff that me and her are going through, or she just needs to vent and bounce some stuff off of.
Yeah.
So that you have your friends that can call you out on your stuff, and friends who just, if there's stress going on between me and her, she can reach out to them and just really, you know, get back into that right headspace.
Yeah. Shout out to my maid of honor, Sarah Bishop. Like, honestly though, like, he doesn't want to hear about all the bad body image days I might have, like, and I might not want to hear about, like, all the stress you have with work. Like, you have to have other people in your life to talk about those things too, because you can exhaust each other with your stuff.
Yeah.
Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Make sure if you are enjoying this prep series that you hit subscribe, and also check out all my social media links down below, and give the video a like. Now, future videos, we are going to try our best to vlog and do more like dynamic videos. I feel like I've done a lot just chilling in my apartment. I do spend a lot of my time here and at the gym, but my goal is to kind of do a little bit more of a vlog style. I'm very thankful that Kyle can take time to edit these videos, because it's not something that I'm talented with. And going into just like picking the right show, more posing tips, and if there's anything else that you guys want to see that's competition related, you know, comment down below. I've mentioned previously, this is going to be a long summer, a lot of shows ahead of us, so we have a lot of time together where we can get a lot of content, and I'm just here to help you guys out.
Down